Great souls have the power to transcend time. Their stories continue to inspire and motivate us across generations, showing us what is possible when one person decides to take a stand for what they believe in. This is the story of a man who showed us that love is the strongest force in the world. He was the man who united an entire nation through peace. He was called the Father of the Nation. He was known for his philosophy of nonviolent resistance. His life was a beacon of hope, and his death a tragedy that shook the world. This is the incredible story of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was born on October 2, 1869 in Porbandar, India. His birth name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. His early childhood was spent in a small town, nurtured by the values of Hinduism and the concept of truth. He grew up hearing stories of ancient Indian sages and their fight for justice. These tales would sow the seeds of activism in the young boy. As he grew older, he excelled in his studies, displaying a sharp intellect and a strong sense of justice. His parents were deeply religious, which had a profound impact on the young Mohandas. They taught him to be honest, compassionate, and to always stand up for what is right. These teachings would become the foundation of his future activism. When he was 13 years old, his mother passed away, leaving a deep void in his life. She was a pillar of strength and spirituality for the family, and her death left a significant impact on him. Her memory, however, continued to guide him throughout his life, especially during moments of adversity. Despite the personal tragedies he faced, Gandhi remained steadfast in his pursuit of education. At the age of 19, he left India for London to study law. The bustling streets of London must have seemed like a world away from his small-town upbringing. Yet here he was, taking the first steps towards a career that would eventually lead him to champion the rights of millions. His time in London not only equipped him with legal knowledge, but also exposed him to different cultures and ideas. It was here that he encountered various social issues, including racial discrimination, which would later shape his ideology. After graduating, he returned to India in 1891. But his journey back home took an unexpected turn when he decided to stop over in South Africa. Little did he know that this stopover would play a pivotal role in shaping his destiny. Upon arrival in South Africa, Gandhi was immediately confronted with the harsh realities of racism. He experienced firsthand the indignity and injustice faced by Indians living there. This was a stark contrast to the British ideals of justice and equality that he had been taught while studying in London. It was at this point that his life's purpose started to take shape. He realized that his legal training could be a powerful tool to fight against this systemic racism. And so his journey from a young lawyer to a revolutionary began. His initial efforts involved working within the existing legal system, fighting cases of racial discrimination in South African courts. However, as he witnessed the deep-rooted nature of racial prejudice, he knew that more needed to be done. Gandhi wasn't just a passive observer, he was a man of action. He started his own newspaper, The Indian Opinion, to raise awareness about the plight of Indians in South Africa. Through this platform, he gave voice to the voiceless, sharing stories of their struggles and demanding justice. One of his most notable acts of defiance was the famous march to the courthouse in Pretoria in 1913. Thousands of Indians, led by Gandhi, marched to the courthouse in protest against discriminatory laws. This display of solidarity sent shockwaves through South Africa, putting the plight of Indians on the national stage. Despite facing arrest and imprisonment, Gandhi's spirit was not broken. He used these moments to further his message, turning his jail cells into platforms for protest. During his time in South Africa, he developed his philosophy of non-violent resistance, which he called Satyagraha. Satyagraha is a Sanskrit word that means truth, force, or soul force. It was the driving force behind all of Gandhi's future endeavors. In essence, Satyagraha is a way of life, a commitment to truth and non-violence in the face of injustice. This philosophy would later become the cornerstone of India's struggle for independence. It emphasized the use of non-violent means such as civil disobedience, non-cooperation, and peaceful protests to bring about social and political change. This approach was revolutionary not only in the context of India's freedom movement, but also on a global scale. It provided a powerful alternative to violent forms of protest that were prevalent at the time. In 1915, after years of tireless work, Gandhi and his wife returned to India. They arrived to a nation that was yearning for freedom from British rule. The Indian National Congress, which was seeking independence from the British Empire, quickly recognized Gandhi's leadership qualities and embraced him as its leader. Under his guidance, the movement gained momentum. Millions participated in peaceful protests and civil disobedience campaigns, all in an effort to secure India's independence. Gandhi's leadership was not autocratic. He encouraged open discussions and debates, valuing the input of every member of his movement. This created a sense of unity and purpose among the masses, binding them together in their fight for freedom. One of the most iconic events during this period was the Salt March, or the Dandi March in 1930. This 390-kilometer march to the sea was a protest against the British salt tax. By making their own salt, the Indians were defying the British law, which gave the British East India Company a monopoly on salt production and trade. The march was not just about economic protests. It was a powerful symbol of resistance against the larger system of oppression. This event had far-reaching consequences, marking a significant escalation in India's struggle for independence. As the movement gained momentum, so did the tensions with the British authorities. In response to the growing unrest, the British government intensified their oppression. They resorted to mass arrests, including that of Gandhi. But even behind bars, Gandhi's spirit remained unbroken, continued to inspire his followers to fight for independence using non-violent means. His leadership transcended geographical boundaries. People from different religions, social classes, and backgrounds came together under his banner, united by the dream of a free India. This unity proved to be one of the biggest challenges to the British rule. In 1942, during the Quit India movement, the call for the British to leave India was at its loudest. However, this more radical phase of the movement led to even harsher reprisals from the British. Gandhi was arrested, and many of his followers were imprisoned or forced into exile. But this did not deter the Indian people. They continued to resist, determined to achieve their goal of independence. Throughout these struggles, Gandhi's message of nonviolence and truth remained constant. He believed that violence would only beget violence, and that the true path to freedom lay in love and non-cooperation. This belief was tested time and again, especially during the times of imprisonment, yet it never wavered. The year 1945 marked a turning point. World War II had come to an end, and the British power was on the decline. This created a favorable global climate for India's independence movement. After years of relentless struggle, India finally gained independence on August 15, 1947. This day is etched in the annals of Indian history as a moment of triumph and liberation. For millions, it was the dawn of a new era. But for Gandhi, it was the culmination of a lifelong mission. His dream of a free India had materialized, but it came at a cost. The partition of India and Pakistan resulted in one of the largest migrations in human history, causing immense suffering and loss of life. Though deeply saddened, Gandhi continued to advocate for peace and unity between the two nations. He believed that true independence meant not just political freedom, but also unity and harmony among all communities. Tragedy struck on January 30th, 1948. On that fateful day, as Gandhi was walking to his evening prayer meeting, he was shot by a radical. The news of his assassination sent shockwaves across the globe. It was a moment of profound grief, not just for India, but for everyone who believed in peace and justice. His death left a void that was impossible to fill. But his legacy lived on. Mahatma Gandhi was a beacon of peace, a warrior of truth. His life was a testament to the power of nonviolent resistance, and his death a martyr's end. He showed us that one person with a dream and a purpose can inspire millions to bring about monumental change. Today, he is remembered as the Father of the Nation, a title bestowed upon him by his followers in India. This was a man who led a nation to independence without firing a single shot, a man whose influence went beyond borders and whose ideals continue to inspire movements for civil rights and peace around the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please show your support. Your support motivates us to keep bringing you amazing stories. And if you have any video suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.